For all Labor's talk about reducing immigration numbers, we're in fact heading in the opposite direction, with record immigration ostensibly making tonight's budget look in much better shape than it actually is. The reality is, of course, we're in a per capita recession. In fact, it's been 4 quarters now of negative growth. The Prime Minister out on radio this morning claiming, though, he's got a plan.
Are you going to, as promised, are you going to cut immigration next year and the year after, and if so, by how much?
Yes, we are. We want to bring it down to around about half of where it peaked. You'll see a range of measures in tonight's budget aimed at doing that, including a clampdown on integrity issues when it comes to higher education. That's really important.
For more on this, I'm joined now by former Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce. Well, Barnaby, the Prime Minister doesn't take a trick. He talks there about bringing it down down to about half where it is now. Well, that'll take it down to about 250,000 a year. The previous record ever in Australia's history was under Kevin Rudd. It was 230,000. So he's still, even if he halves it, keeping it at absolutely record highs.
Well, he said he has a cunning plan. He sounds like Baldrick. He's got a very cunning plan in a very bad situation. But, the Prime Minister of our day, with the cunning plan man, in the last 12 months, about 599,370 students came in. We've got, if he cuts it down, even immigration down to 250,000. Where are the houses for these people? Where are the schools? Where are the new dams? Where are the hospitals? You see, people just think that people come in, but you actually got to provide not only the houses, but the infrastructure to back it up. In the meantime, homelessness is making its way to Bundaberg and Tamworth. We see people sleeping rough in areas we've never seen it before. People who literally are good people, decent people, got a job, living in their car. Don't the Australians come first in all this? I mean, what's happened to that? We're ignoring. And the people who are being hurt are the poorest people. The same people he's hurting with his cultish attachment to renewables and the power prices that that are being inflicted on people. He's now inflicting on in the housing market. There's no other way he can do it. We can't build the houses. We don't have the tradesmen. We don't have the materials, and we've got a government with a cunning plan.
Just on the international students, routinely we have about 9,000 to 15,000 of them per month try and move from a student visa to head the way of Australian citizenship. Well, back in March, just the other month, it hit 35,000. So they are watching and listening to this whole debate about immigration being too high, and they're desperate to get their paperwork in should there be any change. But Labor today called them soft caps, these caps that they'll bring in to curb the numbers of international students. You know how the numbers work in a budget. Given how much their bottom line is dependent on very high immigration, do you believe Labor?
Well, I mean, look at the skill level here. We've got Minister Giles and Claire O'Neill and the cunning plan man, Prime Minister Albanese. Truly, these are the same people who promised you a $275 reduction in your power bill. And the only thing you've got to ask yourself, because it's going to get so complicated tonight, there's going to be figures going here, there and everywhere, and every person who's got a tongue is going to give an opinion. Ask yourself this question. Are you better off or worse off than when the Labor Party came to power? Because that is the truth of the matter. If you think you're better off, great. If you think you're worse off, well, it's the cunning plan man. You've got to put the blame at his feet.
Spoken as a true accountant, you know that the devil is in the detail, Barnaby, and they deliberately design a lot of the budget papers hard to navigate. They bury things. We know there's all these decisions taken, not yet announced. It's all funny money. One thing I will look at closely tonight beyond immigration is I'm going to look at the money. Contingency reserve, yes, I look there too, and what's off budget, etc. Yeah. But I will look at the money they're putting into aerial surveillance in immigration, because that was heavily cut. We've had 3 votes now in the last few days. This is the problem, right?
In 6 months.
You have to say, looking at these numbers, the people smugglers are back in game, aren't they? They're back in business.
Well, we've had 6 in 6 months. You've had a massive cut to Border Force. And surprise, surprise, I mean, they're making a decision about how good the cunning plan man and the budget is. They're making a decision. They've said overseas, I think we've got a chance here, and we go. And they said, well, what do you base that on? I said, you know, in Australia, they even let the criminals out. They go, the rapists, the murderers, the people, all these criminals, they should kick them out in the street. You know, this is great. You have to have a chance. Ducking down under for a prawn on the barbie now, let's jump in a boat and go.
I want to laugh, but I can't laugh because it's so true. And of course, once they're here, not only would you let the criminals out, Barnaby Joyce, we put them all on welfare and we find them a hotel or a motel to stay in. I'll leave it there. Good luck with budget night. I'll keep moving. Thank you, Barnaby Joyce.